Nix Packages is a central software repository for anything Nix related. It's the largest and most fresh package set in the Linux space by far. The contributing process is fairly straightforward, however there are a few idioms and guidelines to follow. This video is aimed at giving you an overview of the process, some tips, and some tools to make your contributions higher quality. The normal workflow for creating a package goes as follows. Fork Nix Packages on GitHub and clone it. Nix Packages can take a long time to clone. Use filter tree to minimize the file size. If you're using a UI like LazyGit, loading all the commits can be quite slow. To fix this, simply run this command: git commit graph write. This will save all commits without fetching. You'll have to run this periodically. To avoid that, you can run git maintenance start. This will automatically write the commit graph every hour, as well as some additional maintenance tasks. The next step is to create a branch. You never want to commit changes directly to the master branch, as this can prevent new contributions until the current one is merged into Nix Packages. Then you create a package. The current preferred location for these packages is in Pkgs by name. In there you create a package file, in a subdirectory with the first two characters of the package name, then another subdirectory that is the name of the package, then a package.nix file. At the top of the package, you import all the helper functions and packages needed to build and run your package. Then create the package build. The most common function for that is std_mkderivation. It can build any package. However, different programming languages require different builder functions. Rust, for example, requires rustplatform.build rustpackage. On to the conventions. You want to use pname and version over name. Package versions in Nix Packages cannot have v in them, so if you pull a package source from a tag with v, remove it from the version. Source contains the extracted source code for the project. There are a few helper functions in Nix Packages. Most often, you'll use fetch from GitHub. Usage is pretty simple. Give it the owner of the repo name, and the revision. This can be a commit hash or a tag, and the hash of the source code. You can leave this blank for now. When you build the package, it will tell you what hash to use. Now let's use those imported packages. There are a few types of inputs. Native build inputs. These are the packages required to run the build commands, like cmake, mesin, ninja, or pkgconfig. Build inputs. These are the libraries linked into the package during the build, like SDL2, OpenSSL, or zlib. Onto the phases. These are bash snippets called by std_mkderivation. Some important variables used in the snippets are source, the final store path of the source code, and out, the store path that the final package will be copied to. There are a few types of phases. First we have configure phase. This will run the /configure script by default. It's also used to run more complex cmake setup. Then the build phase. By default, this will run a makefile if it exists. This will run the actual compilation. Then the install phase. By default, it will create a store path under the out variable and call make install. This is where you'll copy the resulting output from the build and things like man pages and documentation to out. Lastly, let's look at the meta block. This contains all the Nix Packages specific metadata like the description and homepage. These are just strings. Then we have more advanced attributes. License. Nix Packages uses a centralized list of license in liblicenses.nix. This information is crucial for the Nix Packages build server. Periodically, the master branch transitions into the Nix Packages unstable branch, triggering the Hydra build server to compile and store every package in the cache located at cache.nixos.org. To comply with legal requirements, it is essential to designate packages with an unfree license if they are built from precompiled packages or lack a specified license. Main program. Just a string containing the file name of the main binary, not required if you're adding a library. Platforms. This tells Hydra what platforms to cache. This can include Linux and Unix, which is macOS and Linux, and all. You can also specify a specific architecture, like x86-64-Linux. Maintainers. This contains the list of maintainers for the package from the maintainers/maintainerlist.nix file. It is not required to add a maintainer, however it's good practice. When somebody updates your package, Offborg will request a review from you. Let's take a look at adding yourself as a maintainer. Navigate to the maintainers/maintainerlist.nix file, then add a block in alphabetical order with your username. Here's mine. You need to add your email, name, can be your pseudonym, GitHub username, and your GitHub ID. You can get your ID by running this command. Commit this with the message maintainers add name, name being the title of the block you added. Once this is added to Nix Packages, you will never need to do it again. Once that's done, you can commit your package. Nix Packages commits follow a very specific format. Here are some examples: adding the package, updating the package. If you have a bunch of extra commits, you'll need to squash them, then push. Let's create a pull request. Just point your change to master and submit the PR. If your change causes a mass rebuild, like updating GNU-PG for example, which 5,000 plus packages depend on, you need to point it to the staging branch instead. Then you need to check a few boxes. You need to specify what architecture you built your package on, that you verified its functionality, and that it follows the contributing guidelines. Make the title of your PR the commit of the changed package. If you needed to change or add multiple packages in one PR, just add all the commits in the title and separate them with a comma like so. GitHub Actions will run some basic tests like checking and formatting, and if you follow the packages by name conventions properly. Then Offborg will build your changed packages for every platform specified. This can take a while, especially on Mac OS. It can sometimes take days to finish the evaluation. When people review your PR, you need to remember that harsh changes may be needed. Please respect other contributors, be positive, clear, and concise with your responses, and handle disagreements professionally. If you would like a review, ping me in a comment. I'll take a look at your changes. Some nice tools to keep your Nix Packages contributions clean include Statics. This will show you some lints for your packages. Dead Nix. This will remove dead code. Nix Packages Hammering. This will run your package code and provide lints and fixes that ensure you keep to the Nix Packages standards and conventions. Nix Packages Format. This will format your package code to follow the Nix Packages standard. If this all sounds a little bit complicated and full of boilerplate, you'd be right. The best tool by far is Nixinit. Give it a link to the source code of your package and it will create the package file, set up the boilerplate, fetch the source and pin the hashes. It will even detect the license and add it. It can also add you as a maintainer and commit the changes following the commit convention. This makes things really simple. However, don't rely on this to build completely working packages. In most cases, you'll need to add the phases and make proper builds yourself, so knowing how to do this manually is still required. Give Nix Update the name of a package and it will fetch the new source revision and hash. It can also make an update commit. It doesn't work all the time, however. If you need to manually update this, you can use knurl. If you give Nix Packages Review a PR number, it will build every package affected by the PR. You'll need to be in a Nix Packages directory. It could take a ridiculously long time, so it's not a requirement. Thanks to my supporters, Howskins for continued membership to the Voyager tier, Kinzoku for continued membership to the Voyager tier, Akash1618 for continued membership to the Starfarer tier. If you like what I do and would like to support me, please check out my Ko-fi page, link in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or join our Discord community. Thanks for watching.